Jesus.
Brian Andricott could hardly believe what he was seeing.
It's tough.
The body camera video of Aurora police officer John Haubert pistol whipping, choking, and threatening to shoot an unarmed man accused of trespassing.
Stop fighting! Stop fighting!
After prosecutors charged Haubert with assault last month, he resigned from the force. But Brian says Haubert should never have been a cop in the first place.
You have a gun pointed straight at your head.
That is what gets me, the gun.
In the spring of 2009, Brian lived in this Arvada house with Haubert and two other young men. On the night of March 6th, they were all planning to go out together, but Brian says Haubert came home late and drunk.
He ended up just showing up at the house and parking on the front lawn, so a little inebriated.
Causing a heated argument between Haubert and one of the other housemates.
And so these two got into a pretty escalated verbal argument pretty quickly.
Brian says after the argument, Haubert went to his room and was in there for a while, so he went to make sure he was okay.
Go down there, slowly open the door. John, how are you doing? To find him kind of just in the corner, hunkered down, like, and pointing a gun right at me, saying, if you take another step forward, you're going to meet the other end of this. So, I slowly backed away, shut the door.
Court records show that Haubert was initially charged with felony menacing, but ultimately pleaded guilty to a misdemeanor charge of prohibited use of a weapon drunk with a gun. Did you ever talk to him again after that incident?
No.
Brian says Haubert moved out the day after the incident, and he hadn't heard anything about him since. 12 years, until 2 weeks ago, when he saw the video of Haubert pistol whipping the trespassing suspect in Aurora.
I was surprised that he became a cop. I don't think he ever should have.
According to Brian, he was never contacted by anyone with the city of Aurora before Haubert was hired as a cop in 2018.
It never should have happened. Never should have happened.
He says if anyone had reached out, he would have told them not just about the troubling 2009 incident, but about other signs of emotional distress that Haubert had displayed.
It's obvious when you see that 1,000-yard stare from somebody.
According to the U.S. military, Haubert served in the Marines for 5 years. He fought in the war in Iraq in 2003 and 2004 and was awarded the Combat Action Ribbon.
But yeah, he had some pictures of his accomplishments across seas.
Brian says Haubert never talked about his time as a Marine, but he once saw a photo album of Haubert's with pictures of people that Haubert had presumably killed while fighting in Iraq.
Real quick, I saw them. Other housemates kind of perused a little longer, but yeah, they were trophies of deaths that he had racked up.
Pictures of people?
Yeah, that he had killed. What makes you sure? I mean, you could see John.
The Aurora Civil Service Commission, which screens and hires all entry-level police officers, says even though they were aware of Haubert's 2009 criminal case before he was hired, they don't think that anyone from the city contacted any of Haubert's roommates to get more details about the incident or about Haubert. In a statement to 9 News, a spokesman said the city shares in the concerns that you are reporting and that all hiring processes always have room for improvement. Does it surprise you that you weren't contacted?
Yes.
Brian says in Haubert's case, the hiring process was a flat-out failure, and he's telling his story in hopes that the process is soon changed and that police officer candidates are much more closely scrutinized.
I mean, if they're not even doing the basic checks as far as to, somebody's behavior before becoming an officer, that's like, I don't know. It's like, what are we doing?
In Aurora, Matt Jablow, 9 News.